Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today is probably the most special day in the history of my YouTube channel because we are now on the countdown to 1 million subscribers. About 28 away. Quick math for you. They don't call me a wizard with the numbers for no reason. No one calls me that. But this is something that I truly never thought would ever happen. There was no reality in which you could have told me all the way back in 2012 when I started this YouTube channel that one day I would see a 7-figure subscriber count on here, let alone a 6-figure subscriber count. Because I started this and it was just purely for fun, and it still is for fun. Now, it also has other benefits that I'm able to do this full time. I'm incredibly blessed, incredibly blessed and humbled to have the opportunity every single day to wake up and say I make YouTube videos for a living, to say that I play video games and I talk about video games, something that's always been a passion of mine, and I get to do that to support myself and to support my loved ones. It is an honor, and I am so incredibly grateful that you guys have supported me to the extent that you have, from way back when all the way till now and into the future as well, because we're not slowing down anytime soon. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get these last few subscribers, so I am here prepared to yap for a little bit as we watch this live subscriber count climb a little higher and climb a little closer to 1 million. Now, I plan later on in this video to do like a full Q&A. I'll put out some posts about it and I'll have you guys comment and reply and ask questions and stuff, because I've never really done one of those on this channel, especially not since I've really taken off in subscriber counts. Maybe I did some like way back in the day. Well, I want to say before like 100K, 200K, 300K, like long time ago. It's never really something I've done. And I get asked stuff all the time about, you know, this, that, and whatever else. So I figured I'd give you guys like an actual platform and a space to be featured in a video and have me answer some questions. So if you want to just skip to that part, you don't want to hear me yap about my YouTube journey, feel free to do so. I won't blame you in the slightest. I'll have it timestamped on this video because that'll be a different day from now. I'll have to, you know, culminate all those and put them together and have them ready. But this is actually pretty cool. I didn't know YouTube actually showed this, but look at this lifetime graph for the subscriber count. I get asked a lot, quite frankly. Zach, I want to start a YouTube channel. What should I do? You know, I'm not getting views. I'm not getting any subscribers. What am I doing wrong? Please use this graph. Use what my channel is as an example of just the pursuit of something you love. I love doing this more than anything in the world. That's why I do this, man, every single day. When I get to wake up and I get to do this, I love it. There are days when Call of Duty sucks, and I love the fact that I am fortunate enough to be able to talk about why Call of Duty sucks. There are days when Call of Duty is great and the community is thriving and everyone's excited. And I love that even more because being surrounded by that positivity ultimately is the best. And the fact that I have a platform now to have a positive impact on the game, to have a positive impact on people's lives outside of the game is just beyond me, quite frankly. But I mean, look at this. Back in April of 2012, when I started this YouTube channel, I was, I think, towards the end of 8th grade at that point, going into high school. My life was changing more than I knew it ever would in some pretty drastic ways. 0 subscribers day one. And it didn't change for a long time. During all this time here, I was a dude pointing a camera at a television screen or a computer monitor, pressing record on this camera and trying to do a one-take commentary over some theater mode gameplay that I got on Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2 or whatever, right? Trying to talk about news when there was like a big leak that surfaced and I was the 400th person to cover it because I was coming home from school and I opened up YouTube and there's already a bunch of videos and I was like, oh, I gotta try and make a video like that too. I wanted to be that so bad. I thought it was the coolest thing that I could record what I did in Call of Duty and share it with my friends. That was the whole purpose of me starting this, is I got some cool clips and I thought I was decent enough at Call of Duty. I was like, I gotta show who just unsubscribed. Who was that? I got to show my friends, hey, look what I did with the ACR last night. I got a nuke on a state. Like, you gotta see this. I thought I was infatuated with that idea that I could share that not only with my friends, but actually have other people see it too. It was the coolest thing. And I was in love with it right away. Waking up way before I had to go to school and playing a new DLC update that came out and pointing my camera at a TV and with this terrible quality bumbling over my words, not having a clue what I was doing, just simply for the love of the game. And I'm doing that now as well. I'm just maybe a little bit better at talking, and I have better equipment, so the videos actually look decent, right? But that passion has never wavered. It's never changed. But this is not something that happened overnight. You can see the graph here as we go through this. A year in, I had just over 1,000 subscribers, and that was, foreign to me. The idea of that 1,000 people would see my videos. And because I grew up, and I was in a small school, middle school, high school, I did online because I had a lot of anxiety issues growing up. And like I said, when I created this channel, my life outside of YouTube changed very drastically, not shortly after this. I had an actual audience. People were watching my videos, which was insane. But it's not like it is now, obviously, which I really try. As cool as 1 million subscribers is, I can't actually sit here and think about what that is in an actual number. That doesn't make any sense. But I can't sit here and try and visualize what 1 million subscribers actually is. 1 million individual people coming and clicking subscribe because they actually like what I'm doing enough is insane and incredibly overwhelming to think about, which is why I physically cannot, I mentally cannot try and picture that, because it is truly overwhelming. The thought of 2,000 people is overwhelming, and it's insane to think now. I had 2,000 subscribers in 2014. I was probably getting like 50 views a video or something then, and I thought that was insane. And then it jumps up to 4,000, and I was maybe getting 100 views a video, and I thought that was insane. Now here we are at 999,985, and how blessed am I that I can say that? It's just, I don't have words to describe how blessed I feel because you guys choose to support this channel. But if this is something that you want to do, and you have that passion for this, and being a content creator is something that you really find joy in, please do not feel defeated when you don't see instantaneous results. We live in a society, and on social media here, all it is you see people's highlights 99% of the time. You don't see the struggles, you don't see the behind the scenes grind, you don't see the defeats, you see the highlights. And that's so few and far between what's actually going on. This graph doesn't see a substantial leap really until 2019. 7 years really before anything really started to trend in a way that it was like, oh, maybe this is something. And there were so many times in between the start of this graph and now where I was doing commentary work for other channels, trying to post almost every single day on this channel, going to school full time in college, trying to get an English degree, working full time as a waiter as well. I don't know how I managed to do all of that on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. Like, that truly was a blur, trying to think back at what I was doing every single day at that time. But I loved it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And finally, in 2018, I started to see some traction there that was greater than anything I'd ever seen before with Black Ops 4. And then it started to get a little bit serious. And by 2019, late spring, early summer, I was like, I'm at the point now where I'm making enough money. It's equivalent to what I'm doing at actual work, going in and being a waiter and doing everything there. I don't want to waste this opportunity. I don't want to fumble this. Like, I might not get this again. Even if it lasts 6 months, even if it lasts a year, I want to do this. So I quit my job. Really rash decision. Like, it was only after a few months of success in 2018, 2019 here. I quit my job. I said, I'm going to do this full time. I want to see what it's like. I have to do it. I've lived this for 7 years. I've been doing this for so long, not necessarily because I wanted to do it full time, but because I loved it. And now I'm in a position where I can do what I love and actually commit to it full time. If it doesn't last, it doesn't last. But if it does, this is where I want to start doing it and really go all in on it. And then by the time that Modern Warfare was rolling around in 2019, things were kind of trending downward a little bit. Like, the hype from BO4 had fallen off a little bit, and I didn't really know what was next. Like, if Modern Warfare didn't go over crazy good, I was probably at the point where realistically it was going to be going back to school again, because I'd paused my semesters there. I wasn't taking any classes, so I want to fully commit and just see what happens. I didn't expect it to go over as good as it did, but I didn't want to waste that opportunity. And I was sort of in the mindset where going in, it was like, okay, the steam is kind of, falling off now. The hype is kind of falling off. Might have to go back to work. I could get the job back at the restaurant if I wanted to. I can go back to school. I was in a good position there, and I was in a comfortable mindset with that. And then MW 2019 happened, and the rest is history. You guys can see it took 7 years, basically. 7 years of grinding, not really seeing results in any way that was significant enough to say, hey, this is my job now, or hey, I've reached the goal now. And there really is no end goal. 1 million isn't the end goal by any means. I don't like to set these goals anyways, because it's not like I'm stopping once we see this tick over to 1 million. I'm working more and more every single day, basically, because I love what I do. I want to push out the best content I can. I'm covering more now, and I'm blessed. I'm never going to take this for granted. I'm never going to wake up a single day and be in this position and not want to put my absolute all into it. Part of Ecclesiastes 9:10 says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. It's one of my favorite verses, because that's truly how I try and commit to everything. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to my absolute best ability. And I did that when there were 400 subscribers on this channel and I was pointing a phone at a TV. Even if it was a bad product, I was trying my hardest. And now, the same situation, just in a very, very different set of circumstances. And if you sat through all that yapping, I really do appreciate you. I truly, truly do. And if you didn't sit through all that yapping and you've just skipped to this part, I still truly appreciate you. Whether you've been here for a few weeks because we've gained so many subscribers because of Battlefield and the new content going out there, or the hype for Black Ops 7. Maybe you've been here since I was posting all sorts of random stuff back in the day in Advanced Warfare and going for gameplays and then doing news and then live commentaries and trying Fortnite, and whatever the situation is that brought you here. If you stuck around, I appreciate you. Like, truly, I'm going to say thank you a billion times in this video, I imagine. It doesn't describe how grateful I actually am that you guys were able to put me in this position. We're 3 away. Actually insane, bro. Actually insane. Like, you could not have sat down and told me in 2012 that, hey, one day 1 million individual people will say, you're doing a good enough job, I want to see more. Such a foreign concept, such a wild concept. I got no words. Really, I don't have any words. It's just going to be a lot. We're 1 subscriber away. It's just such a wild concept, man. I can't believe that I get to do this every single day. We did it. We hit 1 million subscribers, man. Thank you guys so much. Like, truly, you guys have changed my life. You guys have changed my family's life. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever truly know. If you've been here to watch every video I've posted for years, or you've been here for a day, I cannot thank you guys enough for this. Truly am so incredibly blessed. I know other people have probably hit 1 million subscribers, and you know, I haven't been all choked up about it. There's balloon poppers and sirens and loud noises. That's not me, man. That's not me. Like I said, if you didn't want to sit through all the yapping that we previously did, I want to do a Q&A on the channel. So now we'll go over to future Zach and take some questions from you guys, so you can learn a little bit more about me, maybe beyond just what we are on YouTube and what I showcase on the channel on a day in and day out basis. All right, so it's a new day. I've gathered a bunch of questions. You guys asked way more questions than I thought I was gonna get. So if I don't get to your question in this whole video, I apologize. I tried to read every single comment. That's something I pride myself on with this channel from when I started it all the way until now. If you have ever left a single comment on this channel, a new comment, I have read it. I dedicate myself to that because I wouldn't be doing this in the position that I'm in right now if you guys weren't here. The least that I can do is spend time reading what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on the various things I post. So if you've ever left a comment, trust me, I have seen it. But again, there were so many questions, some repeat ones as well. So there's a good chance that if you asked one, there's maybe somebody else who asked something similar. But let's dive into the first Q&A on this channel in quite some time. First up, Danny asks here, what is your favorite COD multiplayer of all time? And what's your overall favorite COD game, including campaign? This is a pretty easy one for me. It was my very first multiplayer in COD, and nothing's really come close to that. There's other multiplayers I really enjoy. BO2 is phenomenal. Really liked Modern Warfare 3, the original, and the latest one as well. But yeah, MW2 2009, that's a classic. Overall, with campaign, it's still probably MW2 2009, but if we're going just campaign only, MW 2019's campaign is my absolute favorite. I thought that story was phenomenal. I hope Modern Warfare 4 can sort of recreate that. Next up, Romelander asks, what is your favorite COD gun of all time? This is a tricky one because there's so many weapons I love. The Growl from MW 2019, especially as of late, has been my absolute favorite. But in all of COD ever, it's got to be the MW2 ACR. I absolutely love that gun. The MW3 ACR is not far behind. The UMP, a classic as well. But for me, that was always my go-to when I jumped on MW2. If I wanted to go for a nuke or something, I was loading up, I was dropping in with that MW2 ACR, either rocking the suppressor on it or like a red dot, and I was hoping that no one found my spot on whatever map I was playing that I was camping, trying to get the Harriers so I could start the nuke streak, right? MW2 ACR, it's got to be my goat. Tacoma asks, where do you actually ask a couple of questions here? Where do you see yourself in 3 years? Hopefully doing this consistently still. I love what I do. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. And if I'm still doing exactly what I'm doing right now in 3 years, that's a success to me. Any wife and girlfriend? Nope. You living at your folks' place? Yep, we'll never regret that. There is no such thing as spending too much time with people that you love and care about, and so I'm incredibly fortunate and blessed that my parents put up with me doing all of this. Time and a place, I'll have my own house, hopefully sooner rather than later, but I'm also very picky when it comes to that, so there's a plan for all of it. It happens when it happens. And then what car do you drive? I drive a 2013 Mustang V6. I love cars. There's actually a question later about cars. We might talk about those more then, but yeah. Have owned this car since, well, I was working at the restaurant still, so that was before MW 2019. So around there, impulse buy that I didn't need at the time, and I could barely afford it at the time, but I was like, you know, this car is sick. I really want it, and I've had it since, and now I don't really even drive it that much because I don't go anywhere really when I sit down and I play video games and make videos all day. Rhett asks, face reveal when? Probably not going to happen. Combat here asks, what has kept you motivated and going for content creation through your time on YouTube? This is a question that I got a lot of, or different variations of. You know, have you ever felt any, you know, doubt with what you're doing on YouTube? Have you ever felt down about things? Absolutely. This has not just been, you know, sunshine and rainbows forever. As I sort of alluded to in the first part there, if you guys watched me yap when we hit 1 million subscribers, when I had quit to do this full time in Black Ops 4 and Blackout leading up to MW 2019, I was really in that spot of like, this is a cool thing that has lasted for the last few months, but if something doesn't change realistically, this is probably not something I can continue to do full time. I wouldn't have stopped YouTube by any means going into Modern Warfare 2019 had things not taken off, but it would have gone back to, I have to juggle doing this as like a side project, a hobby, and then also going to school full time, and then also going back to work full time so I actually have an income, right? And I was fortunate enough, I was blessed enough that Modern Warfare 2019 took off. What's kept me motivated though is I love doing this. When I wasn't doing this full time, just purely as a passion project, which still is now, it just happens to come with other benefits and I can support myself through it, but I love doing this. I have a true passion for this. I enjoy content creation so much. I enjoy being a source of information for people that you know, anyone who wants to know something about COD or even Battlefield now can come to this channel and know this is a trusted source who's gonna put out the accurate information in a timely manner every single day. I love that feeling of, you know, I'm providing something that people actually find useful and enjoyable. And I love the process of it all, from the research that goes into videos. Editing can be tedious at times, so can thumbnailing, but it's still part of the process that ultimately I do enjoy, because that just creative experience there I think is really fun. And I love constantly refining my craft with it. This actually seems like a perfect follow-up question too to the process, right? Buddy asks, how much time a day do you spend specifically working on your videos? In a sense, everything I'm doing once I sit down in the office here is working on videos. Now, it might not be directly editing a video or doing a thumbnail or, you know, posting it, but it might be going for gameplay. So I'll do that typically at night, play some rounds of Call of Duty, some rounds of Battlefield, whatever the case is, right? Whether it's researching stuff and trying to find information for videos, or waiting for patch notes, trying to get comms on, you know, when we can expect things there. Whether it is trying to get assets for thumbnails, I'm taking screenshots, I'm you know, crop tooling out a bunch of weapons for future thumbnails. Whether it's SEO stuff, trying to see if I need to you know, adjust tags on videos, learning a little bit more about the back end of YouTube and trying to perfect that so I always have a chance to reach a larger audience, studying niches and things like that. Like, basically, in this job that doesn't really feel like a job, there is no downtime, there is no off time. Every day when I wake up, it's sort of like on call. Like, I've got noties posted on everything for Call of Duty news, for anything like that. So at a moment's notice, if Charlie Intel posts some breaking news or Call of Duty drops some random patch notes, I'm there, I'm ready. It'll wake me up in the middle of the night. It'll, you know, stop at the gym when I got to take a break and go record a video. So it's basically an all day long thing, but it's also like I'm in my house, I'm sitting around, I'm in the gym downstairs working out, or I'm down at the basketball court not too far away, or I'm here playing games maybe if I got some free time. So by the time that I wake up in the morning, usually around 7:30, I've showered, I've ate breakfast, I'm here at my desk working on videos, doing that, and pretty much the cycle all day with a few breaks in between to go work out, to go outside, get some fresh air here and there, you know, grab some lunch and whatnot, until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, wake up, do it again the next day. It's a process. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's also like not the most demanding thing in the world, at least physically. Mentally, it can be a little bit stressful, but yeah, it's kind of like an on at all times sort of job, because the internet doesn't sleep, the internet doesn't take breaks. Next up, Nathan on Twitter. I also asked over there as well. He said, I know you tweet a lot about sports on Twitter. Yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, it's like 80% Nuggets, Vikings, and Avalanche. If you follow me just for COD, I'm sorry, but also Twitter's where I'm a little bit more, you know, open to everything, and I'm involved in a lot more communities there. If you like those sports teams, or you like my opinions on sports, which is usually just anti-referee, you can give me a follow over there. But I do tweet mostly sports on my Twitter. So I was wondering, what are your favorite sports moments of all time that you've seen? Hands down, easily, was the Nuggets winning the championship in 2023. That is the best thing that's ever happened to a sports team that I follow. The Avs winning the cup the year prior was also awesome, but basketball is my absolute favorite sport. So seeing my team win the championship, having the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic, best thing ever from a sports standpoint. Besides that, the Minneapolis Miracle, Stephon Diggs catching the playoff catch there as time expired. That call will live rent-free in my head forever, the Diggs sideline touchdown call. Unfortunately, beyond that, the Vikings have been nothing but pain and misery in my life, so that probably won't change for quite some time. But yeah, big sports guy, Nuggets winning the championship, by far the coolest. Diner asks on Twitter, did you ever consider packing it up and moving on for any reason? How did you pull yourself away from negative self-talk? I've struggled a lot with like negative self-talk and the perception of myself and confidence in myself and stuff, because like I alluded to earlier, YouTube is something that I do find so much joy in. I've got such a passion for. I'm enthralled by all of this, really. I never really considered stopping making YouTube videos, even if it wasn't something I could consistently do even full time, as I mentioned, going into MW 2019. So I never really considered stopping it entirely, because I wouldn't know what to do with my time. Like I love doing this, and this is how I want to spend my days. However, when it comes to avoiding that negative self-talk or those negative thoughts about what I'm doing with this, is a lot of it is just knowing that I'm incredibly lucky to be able to do what I do, making the most of the moments, and a lot of that negativity doesn't actually help with the process there. I gotta focus on the positives and what I'm doing right, and really contributing and focusing more to that stuff, because if you listen to the negativity stuff, it's only going to bring you down more. You're not helping yourself in that case. And this is a process I've had to learn, both when it comes to YouTube and content creation, and in my personal life as well. There is parts of it that you have to recognize can be constructive and that you have to learn from. But really, that's just the way I go about everything in my day-to-day life, is focus on the positives. I've literally got positivity tattooed on me in Morse code. It's something I always strive to focus on. That's the way I want to live life. You know, we're here for a very limited time. You gotta focus on what's good. And the good can be very small things. Maybe one day it's getting 5 new subscribers. It can be massive things. You reach a new milestone in the case of YouTube here. There's a positive takeaway from basically everything you can do, and finding those, forcing yourself to find those, can really give you, I think, a better perspective on things. This was, interestingly enough, a comment and a question that I got a lot. What's your guilty pleasure video game? I really had to think about this, because like guilty pleasure stuff, usually things that aren't perceived super well that you enjoy, but like the vast majority of the games I play, I find enjoyable. That's why I play them. Like, in a way, as weird as this sounds, the guilty pleasure video game I play might be Call of Duty when I play full time, because it does have such a negative perception, I think, from so many gamers out there. But also it has a massive audience of people who really enjoy the franchise, obviously myself included. So like, maybe it's COD. I don't know if I have a guilty pleasure game outside of it, because most of what I play, I think, is like pretty well known as like good games. GTA, Red Dead, Pokemon, Minecraft, DayZ, like stuff like that. How I spend a lot of my free time elsewhere, or like random single player games. Most of those are like good games. I don't know if I'd call those like guilty pleasure games, honestly. Bolty here asks, do you foresee yourself expanding the channel into other facets of gaming, possibly having a co-host for games that you may be less interested in? There's a lot of drama in other games as well. Really my main focus here is expanding into other games that I enjoy, that I feel like I can confidently cover well. Hence why we've been posting a lot more Battlefield here on the channel over the past year-ish. I've really enjoyed covering Battlefield, learning content creation on this. I've played all the games dating back to like Bad Company 2. It's just never something I posted consistently. There were a few Battlefield videos here and there, but I really enjoy Battlefield 6, the whole, process going into it with all the reveals and everything going into the launch. I was really excited for the game, and there was definitely a chunk of my audience that was coming over from COD kind of annoyed with the state of that game. And so I really enjoyed being able to build up, a new audience on Battlefield a little bit. Some of them crossing over from COD and Battlefield, some of them being brand new just for Battlefield. So it's cool to build into that niche as well. Beyond that, there's not too many other games that I feel like I can confidently cover well. If I'm going to cover something, I want to do it to my best ability. And there's games out there that I'm just a little bit more ignorant about, that I don't know the ins and outs like I do with COD, with Battlefield. That said, next year, or whenever it happens, GTA 6, I'll absolutely be covering GTA on this channel and probably on my second channel as well, which I've already been doing a little bit more. Immortal, by the way, it's always linked in the description. But yeah, GTA, COD, Battlefield, those are the main titles I see myself covering currently and then in the future as well. Oakjet asks, what's my favorite COD? As I mentioned earlier, Modern Warfare 2, the original. What's my guilty pleasure COD? See, this is one I can answer. I think it's Advanced Warfare. People did not like the jetpack era, but I really enjoyed Advanced Warfare. Panda, shout out Panda, awesome guy. How do you keep up to date and able to pump out so many videos consistently? So I've made it a priority pretty much ever since Vanguard to try and double upload every single day. And the reason I do this is to not just spam out videos, because I don't want to sacrifice quality for the sake of quantity. I don't think that's a good way to go about what we're doing here, but I cover a lot of broad topics, especially around COD. I do news someday, but I also focus on tips or leaks or loadouts, which is all areas that have gotten a lot of attention on my channel. There's people here that are just here for the latest news and the updates and the patch notes. There's an entirely different section of my audience that's here for the loadouts and the weapon conversation and stuff like that. Now there's people here for Battlefield, and some here for COD, and some here for both. So I want to be able to pump out content for all of those audiences. I don't want a section of my audience to feel like they're going unnoticed or they're not getting the content they came to this channel for. So covering all these topics gives me an opportunity to post multiple videos in a day. I can cover updates in the morning, and then I can cover weapons that are different or updated in the afternoon, and I'm hitting on those two niches, and then a larger chunk of my audience is getting what they came here for. So I sort of feel like I have that what's the right word to describe this, responsibility, I guess, to cater to the audience that I've created, because there are so many different broad niches in it. But also I schedule things really well. I'm a very schedule oriented person, so it is allowing me to keep a consistent schedule like this that maybe is a little bit more rigorous than what other channels post, just uploading one video a day, or people who don't daily upload. I schedule things out in advance. I can make videos 4, 5, 6 days out. I've had videos that I make that are sort of evergreen videos that sit unlisted on my YouTube channel for 6 months. And then there's a rainy day. It's like, oh, slow day in COD. I'll post this video that I made 6 months ago that doesn't really need to be like a priority video. I have to drop it that week or it's outdated or something. And I just have that sit in the background. There's a few videos right now that I've got sitting on my channel that I could just post whenever I wanted, because they're not an urgent thing. It's just fun content that I enjoyed making that hopefully people will enjoy as well. So I stick to a very, very specific schedule of being ahead, so I don't stress myself out that way, and that allows me to create more quality content videos ahead of time so that I'm ready. I have things there to go, and I can cater to a lot of different audiences that are here for maybe different reasons. Matthew asks, do you play any other games outside of the ones that are on your channel just for fun? I do more gaming just for fun. In certain areas of the year, obviously like October, November, December, January, February are crazy busy with COD and like the new game releases. But then in the summer, when things slow down and I can really spread out content and schedule things out pretty pretty far in advance because there's not as many updates or things are a bit more straightforward, that's when I typically play a lot of other games. I play like a lot of DayZ with my buddies. If there's new Assassin's Creed games that drop, I love playing those. GTA, Red Dead here and there. So I play a lot of other games, a lot of Pokemon as well. Always enjoyed Pokemon games. So I play a lot of other games outside of COD. Believe it or not, it's not just the only one game I play, and that's how I base my opinions on everything. I do play a lot of other games. I just obviously don't post them because I want to have fun on those games. Those are more like relaxed time, free time. I don't want to turn that into something that then becomes part of the job, if you will. Jay asks, what is one of your favorite YouTube channels on the platform that inspired you to become a content creator? So back when I was starting out making videos here, I was really only watching a few Call of Duty creators. Obviously back then in 2012, the platform wasn't brand new, but it was still relatively new, especially for gaming content. So it was like a lot of machinima people back in the day. There were like very few niches when it comes to COD content. I think Chris Smoove ultimately is the creator that I probably watched the most back then, that I really enjoyed his content. It was like, this is phenomenal, like quality stuff. Like if I can make anything close to this, I think I would have achieved a goal at the time there. So Chris Smoove is probably the creator that I wanted to be the most like when I first started making videos. Then I quickly learned I don't necessarily want to be like another creator because that creator already exists. I needed to separate myself more into my own niche and into my own style. But Chris Smoove is a content creator back from when I started that I thought made fantastic videos. Shadow asks, why did you pick your channel name? I'm gonna be honest, Who's Immortal? Just because it sounded cool. Now the concept of immortal in the name is always something that I rocked with. Prior to that, when my YouTube channel originally got created, it was Immortal Resistance, which was really long and a partially Xbox generated gamer tag, I think. And I just didn't roll off the tongue well. I was like, you know what? It's kind of a weird name. Who's Immortal sounds a little bit more clean, and I like the sound of it. Like, quite frankly, I just thought it sounded cool. Also, if you want to look like a little bit deeper into it now, technically the internet is immortal. Like, something goes on the internet, it's there forever. So this channel, everything that I've put into this for the last however long, it's here forever. Like, it's always going to be a part of the internet. So in a sense, the channel is the name. Does that make any sense? I don't think it does. Cyanate asks a question here that I definitely got a lot of. What's one piece of advice you'd give yourself knowing everything you know now? Really try and separate yourself from other creators. YouTube over time, especially since I've started, has become insanely oversaturated. There's a billion different creators you could check out, and so many of them are phenomenal at what they do. You gotta find a way to stand out. You can't just be copying what other people do and hoping that it just works for you. So you gotta find a way to do it better, to do it more efficiently, to make yourself stand out there. But also, it's never gonna be something that happens overnight. You absolutely will have videos that underperform, things that do bad. You will have people who don't enjoy your content. You can't hard focus on that stuff. You can use it as either motivation, you could use it as learning experiences, take that criticism into account. But if you are constantly just hard focusing on, this video is only getting 10 views, this video is only getting 100 views, why am I not getting this many more views when this person's getting this? You can't compare yourself to other channels that are doing similar things in ways like that. Comparison, as they say, is the thief of joy. And especially with YouTube, it could be so up and down on any given day. Some person's video might hit recommended and it goes crazy, and you post a video just like that and yours just didn't catch that same traction, and that's an uncontrollable in some cases. And so you can't really focus heavily, especially negatively, on those controllables. And that's something I did do from time to time when I'd see other channels like mine where we were all small channels, and then this person would blow up and then that person would blow up, and I was sort of still stuck, not really growing my channel, posting very similar content. It's like, okay, I'm making the same videos. Why aren't mine doing well? Sometimes that's just the nature of the game, and it's going to take a little bit more patience. It's going to take a little bit more perseverance, and it does take some luck. You can't always control exactly how it's going to go here. So that's definitely what I'd tell myself in the past. Z asks, if you weren't doing gaming, what would you be doing in life? So as I mentioned, originally when I quit doing everything to do YouTube full time, I was just working as a waiter. That's just side money. It's not like I wanted to pursue that necessarily, although I did love the job that I had there, and I love the people I was able to work with. I was also going to school for an English degree. My plan with that ultimately was to try and become a writer of some sort, whether it was for television or shows, books, maybe. I really wanted to write. I've always really enjoyed that. Ironically enough, I hated reading growing up. I did not like reading books, but I loved writing. So ultimately I wanted to try and do something with that at that time. Now more than anything, what I'd love to do if I wasn't doing this would be some kind of voice acting. Over the years, I've thought that would be something that I think would be absolutely awesome to be able to do in life. So if I wasn't doing this, maybe eventually I would have gotten to that, but the original plan was to become a writer of some kinds. But now this wasn't my job. I would love to do something in voice acting, but also sports. I love sports as well, so maybe something in that field. I'm very flip-floppy because there's so many different things that I'm interested in here. Voice acting, though, I think is the top of the chart there, where I'm at now. Next question here. Since you started, what's been your favorite game you've covered besides Warzone? This is tricky. I mean, MW 2019 kind of also, I feel like, kind of classifies as Warzone. But that game was a lot of fun to cover because there was so much excitement with that game from start to finish. Every seasonal update was cool. There was a lot of hype year round in that game, and it was innovative in a lot of ways with how they approached content, and just like the COD community really evolved a lot in MW 2019. And so that was really fun to cover that year. Warzone obviously was like the main standout though, so I'm not going to answer that. I might say MW3 most recently, Sledgehammers, just because there was so much to cover in that game. It was a ton of fun. Every single week we had basically something to look forward to, and they made content really exciting. It's like, okay, this week new event, new aftermarket part, but then next week another new event or a new camos dropping, and there was always something to do. There's always something going on at that game, and so it really felt like a very alive year for COD. Even if it didn't have insane numbers for views or an insanely high player count, the game was just really fun to cover. Sledgehammer really just made it a joy to watch that game grow over the seasons. Max asks, what's been your most enjoyable moment being a content creator on YouTube? I mean, I've got to say probably now hitting 1 million subscribers, but before that, probably the day I posted my settings video on MW 2019, or maybe the day after when it started to take off, right? Because that's really what started the snowball that was me turning this into a full-time job and a full-time gig. That one video started it all. That's what took things off, and I gained so many subscribers off of that video. YouTube was really pushing my channel heavy and recommended, and so my most enjoyable moment prior to hitting 1 million was probably waking up the next morning, checking my YouTube analytics and seeing this video trend and soaring away on the view counts that I'd never seen on any other video that I'd posted for 7+ years at that time. This thing went nuclear overnight. I woke up and I was just in shock that this video had, I don't know how many views it was at the time, but so many views compared to anything I'd ever posted. And that was a really cool moment to see. It's like 7 years of hard work in one video finally did something that I'd never seen before, and that felt very rewarding. I get this question all the time, actually, not just in the Q&A here, but Mystic asked, what made you come up with a legendary YouTube intro, the ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? For what it's worth, hey, hi, how you doing is actually something I just said when I used to work at the restaurant. I would walk in and everyone would be, sitting at the same table. There'd be 4, 5, 6 other people there, or they'd be in the kitchen talking, doing work. And rather than saying individually hi to all of them, I'd just say, hey, hi, how you doing to the group. And I'd get that out of the way. And I'd go and hang up the jacket in the back or whatever, right? So I just got that out of the way with everyone at the old job there. And then it turned into my YouTube intro. And some people love it and some people absolutely hate it, which I think is kind of funny. It's very easy to skip it in the beginning if you don't like it, but I do think it's interesting that just a simple intro there is very polarizing. The coolest thing with it though is that I get a bunch of comments or occasionally tweets from people who say my significant other constantly knows when I'm watching one of your videos because they say, hey, hi, how you doing with you? Or like my kids say it because I have your videos on so much. I think that's the coolest thing. Like that means so much to me that you're actively watching the videos that much, that those around you also have to put up with me. That always makes me smile so much. Sir Sims asks, what are some of the hobbies and things you enjoy in your personal life? I honestly don't have that many hobbies. I pretty much just do YouTube all day, every day, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I don't get out much, but I do really like the outdoors. I live in Colorado, so it's like the perfect place. I love the mountains. But beyond that, sports. Absolutely love sports. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey. Love sports of all kinds. No asks, where do you think you would be if you never started this channel? As I sort of alluded to earlier, definitely would have finished college, gotten my English degree, then who knows what would have happened beyond that. If I would have found something in writing long term that was sustainable, if I would have found any success there, if that would have transitioned to voice acting of some kind or whatever the case is, who knows, but maybe it ended up being something in those fields. I also still had major passions for sports then at the same time, not playing them, but just in general, watching and being in those communities. So perhaps something there too, in some kind of journalism role, sort of combining the writing and the sports there. That maybe could have been a thing. Then also, what is your dream car? I do love cars. I particularly love American muscle cars. So my dream car that's like realistically attainable Probably a GT500 Mustang. I do love Mustangs. I've had two now, the one that I have now and one before that. And I was actually, fun fact, really close to buying a GT500 when they first started coming out. I was really close to committing to that, and that probably would have been a very bad financial decision at that time. So glad that that didn't happen, but I would still love to own a GT500 one day. I also really would like a C63 AMG, one of my favorite sounding and looking cars ever, particularly some of the older ones, the newer ones that Mercedes has put out. I'm not as much of a fan of, but a C63 AMG would be pretty cool as well. I love some of the crazier cars out there, you know, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens. Those would obviously be cool, but that's money that I don't know I'd love to contribute to a car. I think there are some better places I could invest money of that amount in my life that I think would have probably better returns long term. Like an A12 Superfast, it would probably be like the ultimate dream car that I don't envision I'll ever actually own. Like, that's so much money, but that would be sick one day. If I had a true dream car, it'd probably be an A12 Superfast. This is a really good question from Mighty. By the way, if I mispronounced anyone's names, you're not allowed to say anything. I'm not good with names, okay? Is making YouTube videos everything you'd ever hoped for? Are there drawbacks you face? This is a very volatile industry. One day I could have a video that gets 100,000 views and I gain a bunch of subs. The next day, I could post a video and it gets 10,000 views and I lose subscribers off of it. There's not guaranteed success in this industry unless you are at like an absurd subscriber count that has an audience that is especially there for you day in and day out. Like, there are channels ultimately that are going to be able to post every single day forever and they're going to get a ton of views. That's just not it with the gaming scene in all cases, and especially the niche that I'm in with this. There are times when interest in COD is down, and that could be something you have to, you know, kind of fight with. As time goes on, it's like, okay, this month is probably not going to be that good. And so I try not to set high expectations because there's a lot of uncontrollables with YouTube, as I said earlier. But is it everything I'd ever hoped for? That and then some. This is a dream that I get to live every single day. I cannot believe that I get to call this my job. It is the coolest thing in the world that I'm able to support myself and my family purely off of something that I love doing. Playing video games, having a community, talking about video games. It's an absolute dream. I could never have thought this is what my life would be. So it is everything I'd hoped for and then some. Greg FPS asks, what is your favorite multiplayer map and zombies map all time? Multiplayer for me, this might be a really weird answer, but it's Hotel from Black Ops 1. I'm pretty sure it was a DLC map. I thought that map was so cool. You could go in the elevators and go up and down. I was the guy who was planting claymores at the elevators. I had so much fun on that map. Hotel from Black Ops 1. My all-time favorite. And then my all-time favorite zombies map, funny enough, is also from Black Ops 1, Call of the Dead. I just loved the vibes on that map. I don't think maybe it's necessarily regarded as a fantastic map in the zombies community. I don't know. I'm not that much in touch with the zombies community, but I really enjoyed Call of the Dead. Kind of weird that my favorite multiplayer and zombies map are both from Black Ops 1, but it's not my favorite Call of Duty game. Is that weird? I don't know, but yeah. Hotel and then Call of the Dead I thought were fantastic. I was eating good in Black Ops 1 as far as a fun factor went. That game had a lot to offer that I really enjoyed. And then lastly here, Brandon asks, my question is, what is your favorite Pokemon and why? Huge Pokemon guy. I grew up playing every single Pokemon game. Currently, as of right now, when I have some downtime as we're waiting on Black Ops 7 to release, I've been playing the new Pokemon, Legends Z to A, but my all-time favorite one is Gengar. I love Gengar. Such a cool Pokemon. Ghost Pokemon I think are really cool, and I like the look. I like the moves in the games. I always thought Gengar was so cool. Like Mega Gengar looks sick too now. But yeah, Gengar largely just because I thought he looked sick. Also really liked like the Pokemon episode from the TV show back in the day where they were like in the haunted house and Gengar and Haunter and all the ghost Pokemon were there. Gengar's the GOAT. And that effectively does it. That was a lot of talking. If you sat through this entire video, you're an absolute legend. If you've been here at any point in this channel's history, you've chosen to support it, you're also an absolute legend. Truly, I said it a bunch at the beginning and throughout. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to live this life. You guys have completely changed my life, and I am eternally grateful for what you guys do for me on a day in and a day out basis. I wish we could have opened the 1 million plaque. I'll include that in a video intro probably at some point in the future. There's a whole process I have to go through after hitting 1 million to submit for the plaque, and then YouTube's got to approve it, then they got to ship it and everything. So whenever that ends up coming, I'll definitely like post about it in some capacity. It'll be included in a video. So if you want to watch that and see my reaction to that further on down the road, stay tuned. But again, thank you guys so much for 1 million subscribers. I'm incredibly blessed to be able to do what I do, to have the audience and to have the community that I have. And again, just thank you guys so much.